Welcome back, everybody. I'm Master. You're watching The Urban Man, part of our How to Go Solar on a Budget series. Today we're going to be just briefly chatting about inverters. I know in the beginning video I did scrape through inverters, but we're just going to go a little bit more in depth into you choosing what inverter is right for you. And once again, thank you. We got load shedding. Let's try to switch on the lights. Nothing. I'm actually, to power my TV, I'm running my little inverter. Let me switch over to that, show you guys what I've got there. So we are watching TV, but that's thanks to this little trolley inverter that I have. This is just a little, I think it's 720 watt inverter, if I'm not mistaken, with a single 100 milliamp or amp hour battery. Lasts me about 2 hours now. I've had it for about a year and a half. So this gives me about 2 hours, depending. I don't know, these things are a little bit, sometimes I think it depends how much it charges up, because sometimes it gives me between 2 and 3 hours, just depending how much it's charged up. With load shedding, it's difficult because it obviously switches off and comes back on, and yeah. But at least it gets me through 2 hours of load shedding comfortably. So that's what I've got just running over here at the moment. Thank you, Eskom. All right, so we got investigator here checking out what's going on over here. What's this box? I love boxes. So as I've shown you in my previous video, we got the Sun Magic. This is a 8 kVA, which can produce 6,000 watts. All right, one of the reasons why I'm also doing this video, I wanted to go through all the components of obviously going solar, but one of the other reasons why I'm doing this is because I had a comment on one of my previous videos as to why did I get this inverter and not something like a Lux Power or a Grow Watt, or what's the other, is it DYE? There's also SunSync. There are tons of these inverters around, and obviously I've gone with the Sun Magic, which is one of the cheaper ones that's available on the market. So we're going to be just chatting about that briefly. Actually, you know what? Let's get this inverter out of the box just so you guys can have a look at it and see. What I'll do is quickly also, let me just scroll down here. There's some of the specs. If you guys need to pause to see anything regarding this inverter, you can do so. Okay, there we got the Sun Magic Sun Pro 8048 out the box. So this is basically like an expert clone. I think that's what they go by. There's many of these. They come in different brands or makes or whatever you want to call it. I think all comes out of the same factory. They just rebrand them with their own, obviously, name. In the box, you get a user manual though. So on here it just says Sun Pro. So I think this is actually the correct model. It's the SM Sun Pro. As I said, they obviously just put their own brand on these inverters. You get an instruction manual. I haven't really looked through here, but it does seem to be quite detailed. Won't worry about that. And then we've got a cable, USB cable to, if I'm not mistaken, it is either to connect to your battery or it's to connect to your PC. I think it's to connect to the PC because from what I understand is, from what I read, is that these can't connect to your battery for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure. The installer, that will be his problem to do, not mine. So we'll leave that. So why did I go with the Sun Magic and why didn't I go for something else like a Grow Watt or like what's the SunSync, something like that? Okay, number one, cost. Remember, this is going solar on a budget. So number one factor why I didn't go for one of those other ones is cost-wise. This is one of the cheapest ones, or, well, I won't say it's the cheapest because it's an 8 kVA. You can get a 3 kVA, which is a lot cheaper. I think a 3 kVA goes for about 5.5, if I'm not mistaken. So I did go for the 8 kVA. So it isn't the cheapest, but in terms of 8 kVAs, it's the cheapest 8 kVA that you can probably get. This 5-star, there's a couple of other ones, I can't remember the name, but like I said, they all come out of the same factory, all the same thing. So cost being number one, okay? Now, it is expensive to go solar. And going solar on a budget, unfortunately, leads you to buying stuff like the Sun Magic. His concern was on forums that there have been people with complaints about, I don't know, I think it was the Sun Magic. They had some niggles or something with the Sun Magic. And I had read those, before purchasing this, I had read those forums. And I actually got in touch with a friend of mine that does installations on more budget installations at people's homes. And he's been using Sun Magic and 5-star, and he had no complaints. In his own personal house, he's using 5-star, if I'm not mistaken, and he has no problems with his. So from what I could gather from that is Sun Magic, 5-star, and all the other manufacturers, Chinese manufacturers, the budget manufacturers, they are producing thousands of these a month or a day or whatever you want to call it. So there are tons of these units out in the market. Now, when you compare something, for example, let's use SunSync, for example. They maybe produce 100 of these units a month. Sun Magic produces 1,000 of them, or sells 1,000 of them a month. You are more likely to have more people with niggles with a Sun Magic because there are much more of them out in the wild. Same thing, we're just going to use for reference, like the car industry. BMW, Merc, you'll have less comebacks on those car manufacturers because they're only selling 1,000 units a month. Toyota, Ford, you might have 40, 50 comebacks a month because they are selling like 15,000 units a month throughout their whole range. So that's what I could gather. And like I said, he's done a couple of installations, and he has had that friend of mine. I've got some images of some of the installations he's done. I'll just put up a couple of pictures around here somewhere so you guys can check it out. So he has installed quite a few of them. And then another reason why I went with the 8 kVA was obviously, besides the power supply that I can get from it, the 6,000 watts. Obviously you have to manage that regarding the battery bank that I have. But that aside, is on those forums where people had some niggles with these Sun Magics or 5-stars, I only saw complaints about the 3 kVA and the 5 kVA. I could not find anything on the interwebs about 8 kVA problems with the Sun Magic or the 5-stars. It possibly, once again, it could be coming back to the same statement of what I said earlier. More people probably buy the 3 and 5 kVA of these units than the 8 kVA. So you will have more returns or more niggles, people complaining about the 3 and 5 because they don't sell as many 8 kVAs. So once again, we're back to what I'm just trying to put forward to you. Just because there are people that have niggles doesn't mean all units will have niggles on them. Unless it is a software issue or something like that, yes. But in terms of issues with the inverter itself that pop up or arise here and there, depending on the sales, amount of sales, I believe that's all what it comes down to. And then in regards to you guys choosing your inverter, once again, I'm not forcing you to buy this, but if you are watching this, you obviously want to go on a budget. Yes, you can buy the SunSync. The SunSync, I think they start, if I'm not mistaken, I think they start with a 5 kVA. It's the DEY or whatever. They start with a 5 kVA, if I'm not mistaken. But for 5 kVA SunSync or DEY, you're looking at about 26,000, about 26,000 Rand for 5 kVA. Whereas if you go with the Sun Magic 5 kVA, you're looking at about 8.5. So if you're watching this, I assume you are budget constrained and you don't really have those funds to put out, or maybe you do. That once again, if you have the funds, you're just watching this because you're interested in seeing what the series is about. If you have the funds, and you don't mind splurging a bit, then go for the SunSync. The interface I've seen the interface on those SunSyncs and the DEYs. The interface on them is awesome. I'm not saying that those are garbage or don't go for those or whatever, once again. But if you're on a budget constraint, then obviously you got to get what you got to get, or you got to get what you can afford, I guess, at the end of the day. But if you can get one of those units, please, they are super easy to use as well. The information that you get on those systems on the screen is awesome and easy to navigate around with the SunSyncs and the DEYEs. So I just say DEYE because I don't know how you pronounce it, DEYE or DEYE or whatever. But I keep on repeating that the whole time. But anyways, hybrid inverter. Once again, if you are planning on being still on the grid, I would suggest going hybrid inverter. Well, that will probably be, it is a grid tied inverter. So you got possibilities of being on and off grid sort of with this inverter. Or if you want to completely go off grid, then you can get an off grid inverter. But yeah, it's entirely up to you. If you can manage to be self-sustainable, your battery bank though has to be quite big though if you want to go completely off grid, obviously for nighttime. And if you have days like today, it's raining outside, it is a bit dark and gloomy. So if you want to be off grid and self-sustainable, get an off grid inverter. But yeah, your battery bank is going to have to be a little bit bigger. So you are going to spend money on your batteries, which is expensive as well. So for the moment, but in terms of cost effectiveness, going solar on a budget, I would say the hybrid inverter probably is the way to go. And then, yeah, get what you can within your means. If you obviously, like I said, watching this, want to be on a budget, look out for Sun Magic 5-star. There are a couple of different ones. GrowWatt is also quite good. GrowWatt is probably GrowWatt is a step up from this. I think for a 5 kVA GrowWatt, you're looking at about 16, 17, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously shop around, look around, but I think about 16, 17 for 5 kVA. The Sun Magic, they are about 8.5 grand for 5 kVA. So yeah, if you want to maybe just don't want to go to those SunSync or Days inverters and you just want to get something maybe a little bit better than this, you can look at the GrowWatts. They are awesome as well. All right, guys, so hopefully this helps in clearing up in regarding inverters, or what inverter to look for. And obviously it's all within your budget. You have to buy within your budget. The longer you obviously stay on the grid and have no backup or no solar, the longer you have to put up with Eskom crap. So I wanted to get off grid as soon as possible. Yes, I probably could have just waited another 2-3 months, saved up a bit more and gotten a better inverter. But I'm just trying to get off this bloody grid, or as much off the grid as possible, so that I don't have to, like I said, I'm sitting in the dark once again. One last thing that I just wanted to highlight. I was actually going to end the video there, but before we close off the video, one thing that I just wanted to highlight regarding the construction of the My Sun Magic that I have, in terms of the build quality, the heftiness that it feels, and the way it's been painted and look, the quality does look good. I don't have any concerns regarding the build quality, the way it comes packaged. The instructions look clear enough for me. So the way it looks so far is decent. It doesn't look like it is a budget inverter by any means. It does look like it's a decent in terms of, like I said, the quality, the external quality, exterior quality. So we'll have to see obviously internals, how that performs. Obviously once the system is up and running, I will give you obviously a better idea and feel of how the system is running and if I am happy with the system. Obviously that we can only do once it's installed and up and running, but that obviously will come in future videos. So please remember to subscribe if you haven't, so that you can get those notifications when I upload those videos, so that you guys can make a decision if you feel the Sun Magic would be a good fit for you. Anyways, guys, hope you appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Installation video probably going to be coming soon. Appreciate you watching. Cheers for now.